Hey everybody, welcome back to the new installment of the Unlikely Builder, where we'll attach lower control arm, upper control arm and coilover. So those are the brackets where the lower control arm gets attached. You discover very quickly it's not very precise, so it needs some wiggling and things like that. Then once you get it in and you have both bolts connected, you need to put in the washers to the point of no precise. So they tell you 2, sometimes you need 1, sometimes you need 0. So there is a little bit of a play there. And I discovered this when I was trying to insert one, because first I tried to wiggle, as you can see, and that didn't work. Then tried to tap in with something, and then the mallet and the screwdriver kind of did the trick. And I used it also to align it. And then here I am installing it and torquing it. And once you torque both sides, then you add the valve for the grease, and you make sure that it stays horizontal without having problems moving. And here we are installing the upper control arm. So first of all, those 2 bolts go into the frame. There's a number of holes because of the Mustang option, but this is the original from FactoryFive. So I installed it, I put some thread locker there. The bolts are self-locking, but I guess some thread locker doesn't hurt. I torqued it there, and then I started torquing the other bolts that hold the upper control arm together. Once it's that, you torque the top, you torque the bottom, and off you go. Now for the coilover. First thing you gotta do is screw the seat for the spring into this plastic sleeve. Even with some lubricant, it was very hard, so I ended up using 2 plumber wrenches that I had laying around, and actually it worked really, really well. And I was able to put it in and out very quickly with minimum pain. Then you lubricate the shock, and you shove in basically the plastic sleeve. Then you put some lithium grease onto the washer, which is used to seat the spring. So you put it in there, and then here goes the spring. Once the spring is in, you can put in the cap. As you can see here, the cap goes in through a little slot that it has. So you put in the cap, then you flip the coil over, and you turn the seat of the spring so that the spring is tight. Then there will be a ride height adjustment once the car is made, but for the time being it's fine. Then you put the snap ring on top to hold it all together, and a couple of zip ties to make sure the spring doesn't rotate. And off we go. Here we are. So now to attach the coilover. The coilover, I first attach it on the lower control arm, and the upper part gets attached to the frame, but obviously I did it wrong at the beginning, and very quickly I realized that I had to actually take it out and flip it. So once it's in the correct direction, there needs to be some wiggling because it moves. So you wiggle it, you push the bolt in with the washers, and then you torque it in. So it took, as you can see here, some doing, but eventually I was able to get it in, put the bolt, torque the bottom, torque the top to the frame, and then off we went. We have a working lower control arm suspension. Finally, here we're going to do a very coarse camber and caster alignment based on 2 measurements that FactoryFive provides. This will need an alignment at the alignment shop once it's done, but it's good enough for the first tests. So here I go. I am unscrewing this long sleeve to match two measurements, the one that you saw and this one. Once these are matching to the specifications, I tighten the two bolts. So if you liked it, please like the video and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next week for the spindles and the front brakes.